So, hello everybody. It's good to be in your company today. Welcome into our virtual gathering, which is always a joy for me. And I truly mean it when I say I feel this room filled with presence. The presence and the presence of all of our people too. So know that you're all very much being taken care of as best as we can take care of you in every way we can, but most particularly by keeping you very close in prayerful thoughts and knowing for you always, every day, your highest and most wondrous unfolding good. And that is a given, and you can rest assured that that is exactly what is happening here amongst all the other wonderful opportunities we get to be a very real and present help in the world. And we couldn't be doing that, we couldn't be here fully functioning and so on without your support and without your assistance. And God bless you. We really appreciate that, because that ensures the legacy of something that is tried and true, something that we can always rely on and depend upon for our support and for that wonderful sense of knowing that we can move through anything that comes our way once we're connected with Source and once we're connected with our spiritual community. And so, my dear ones, it is a gracious thing for us all to remember that we are not alone and that we are part of something very wonderful and very, very, very amazingly different to anything that we have known until now. And the difference may look not so good, but through that, behind that, in the midst of that, the eye of that promises amazing, amazing opportunity for each and every one of us on this planet and for all of nature and for all of creation to break through into a greater and more fuller and wonderful, embracing and expansive experience, whatever it's going to be. I've no idea, but I know it's going to be. I have that sense and sensibility, and I'm trusting that you have that too, because you know what they say, the old, tired, and true cliche, when the going gets rough, we hang in there with greater strength and greater faith and a greater sense that something great and good is coming out of this. My gosh, there's not only a pony in there, there must be a whole herd of them, and I cannot wait to see the outcome. And that depends on you, and that depends on me. And it depends upon the way we're thinking, and the way we're feeling, and the way we are perceiving this experience of life on this planet right now. And I am knowing that whatever is going on, you and I are staying steady and straight on the path of knowing that this too is passing. And when it does, there'll be the birth of something amazingly, awesomely wonderful. And I can tell you, I can't wait. But in the meantime, one day at a time, just one precious day at a time, one gift of a day at a time, and for you and for me to be our very best that we can be in that one day. And what we do one day, we can do the next and the next and the next. So now, let us experience some of that already by taking ourselves out of the busyness of the embodiment, by taking ourselves out of the exterior world of form, and just allowing ourselves to reunite with the true essence of our being and all being, and to give ourselves a spiritual spa, refreshment, an opportunity and a moment of recovery and remembrance, and allow ourselves that really deep feeling of being accompanied and knowing for certain sure all is in truth well. So join with me now the way we always do it here by beginning with the breath, because the breath is the life force of our being. It is that amazing, dynamic, divine essence and energy that exists in all life. And you and I are now about to allow ourselves the opportunity to get in touch with it. So breathe with me now consciously. Consciously, just if it is comfortable for you, and I trust that it is, to just close your eyes. Because when we do, we're closing out all kinds of distractions. And in order to see with the inner eye, we must take ourselves out of the world of the relative, as George says, so that we can enter into the world of the absolute. So let's just close our eyes now and allow ourselves to be still, to get very still. And as we're becoming still, allow ourselves to really feel a slowing of everything. We're slowing down now, and we're becoming very still, very quiet, so that we can open the portal of receptivity to knowing something greater than that which is in the outer world. Remembering the beautiful words of the enlightened master teacher Jesus. That which is within you is greater than that which is in the world. It is that I now embrace. I now open myself up in and allow myself to simply be the experience that I so desire, by being consciously united to all of Spirit's life on every dimension of life and living, and to feel myself as that dynamic point of light in this oceanic immensity of cosmic light. And as that point of light that has no circumference, I'm awash in it all, immersed in it all, as one with it all. I am the lightness of my being now, non-incumbent by any form, faceless, formless. Just the breath, the pulsating breath of light being, living, moving, in being, in concert with the one life, the one light, the one essence, the one energy, the one force, the one power, the one and only one. And here I am, in the midst of it, flowing through it, as it, in pure essence of being. So indeed, I just allowed the vastness of this experience to be what I am, and to allow myself that sense of immensity, of wholeness, of completeness, moving as the individualized point of light in the one, with only that sense and sensibility no thought, just a sense of all being one, a sensation beyond feeling, a sensation of one life, God life, whole life, my life, in this expression now. Breathing the waves and energy and essence of life and light and love. Love. Love, life, omniscient, vital energy, love. Breathing it, being it, being it, experiencing it, experiencing it. Vital energy. Life omniscient. Love. In which there is only wholeness, oneness, unity of being. And so I breathe it in, it out, with no other thought, just breathing, experiencing vital energy. The only thing in existence, vital, cosmic, omniscient energy, pure light, pure life, pure love, expressing in this point of light and life and love, with its peace and its beauty and its power and its goodness and its kindness and its wisdom and its understanding and its compassion and its grace, which this point of light commands in the outer world of form, and can use it for great, great good in the outer life of form, and be its mystical, magical instrument in the expression of form. What I am here in the inner awareness of pure energy, I take with me back into the world of form, not to be hidden, not to lie in peaceful repose, but to act as a force of all that is good and whole and wholesome through the portal that I am, because I know in this moment now, life in its oneness, God is, I am, and I can be that expression on any plane of my existence, in any dimension I am experiencing. Because for this was I born, did I come, was created out of the one. I am not afraid. For this I am. And this expression is who I am. And I take it with me back into the realm of the material world on planet Earth as I see it here in this moment now, in all of its glory and essential essence, in its beauty, in its grace, in its perfect rotational action of life and light and love. Blessed be Mother Earth, and all therein, and all thereon, and all around and about and above and below. This beautiful blue-green jewel hanging as light and life and love in the great sky of the universe. So now I breathe again consciously, and I allow that breath to fill up the form that I am on the outer world, mending and fixing and healing anything within it mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally that might need that attention and recovery. And I keep the mind that was in the Christed Jesus, the Buddha mind. I retain it as I go forward into my experience here in this now moment, to be all that I'm here to be, and to show up in sacred service to the truth that sets free all of life to be what it is in truth. So I send out this amazing sense and sensibility into the cosmos and beyond, knowing it is affirmed and acclaimed and responded to in the affirmative as I say, in gratitude and joy. And so it is. And so it is. I think this is the best thing we can do for ourselves and for our world and for each other, is to pause for a moment, put the button on, pause, step out of the exterior, and remember who and what we are and why we are. And just bless and bless and bless and bless. That's all it requires for the transformation that's coming, to be on the affirmative side of life. And so, my dear ones, this morning I had definite something in mind from a piece that I had read to share with you today. And lo and behold, if I didn't leave that behind me And so I thought, well, okay, Spirit, what is it you want us to focus on as a thought for the day? And so there it was in front of me, The Magic of the Soul by Patrick Harbula. A great little book, a wonderful book, with much great good in it for you and for me. So as always, I randomly opened the page, and it opened at the page, the heading, Spiritual Maturity. Spiritual Maturity. And this is what these are the words my eyes fell on. We tend as human beings to look in the world of form at how we are different or better than others. This reflects an adolescent stage of human development. As a species, human beings are in spiritual adolescence. Some might actually argue infancy. Well, I think that would be in agreement with what the great theologian and amazing human being Teilhard de Chardin said a long time ago. He said, as far as civilization is concerned and humanity is concerned, the human has about just put his foot on the first rung of the ladder of civilization. And I remember when I was in college donkeys years ago, that particular sentence slapping me up along the side of the head. And I really took it in, and I thought, oh my gosh, we're running around thinking how advanced we are, how mature we are, and basically we're infants, mewling and puking in our mother's arms, as Shakespeare says. And so it was interesting that that should come to me today of all days. And again, he says, we still have a need to differentiate ourselves from others as a result of our yet immature mistaking of form for reality. We are not the body, we're not the mind, we're not any of this that we are experiencing. This is the dream we're having, the illusion we're embracing. But it's not who you are, it's not who I am, it's not what I am, it's not what you are. I am so much more, you are so much more. Maybe fast asleep to it, but nevertheless, the truth cannot be denied. I am more than I think I am. I'm more than my experiences, whether they're dreadful ones or great ones. I'm more than all of that, and so are you. When are we going to wake up and decide, I think I'll ponder that and maybe delve into it a bit more deeply to see, what I actually believe, whether I believe that or not, or whether it's just something nice to hear and say, oh, that's nice, wouldn't it be lovely if it was true? Well, it is true. We accept what's not true so readily and so easily, and we put aside what is the truth so readily and so easily. Yeah, a lot of infancy maybe, and adolescence, and God knows what not else going on still within us all, each and every one of us. Not just them out there, but all of us. And so he goes on to say, our perception in the world of form is that we are separate. In our spiritual adulthood, coming into our soul awareness, we recognize that we are both individual, human, and imperfect, as well as one with all of life, divine and unlimited. So we're both sides of the coin, as it is always said, there is good in the worst of us, and there's bad in the best of us. And what you and I are endeavoring to do is to be on the right side of life. Yes, I digress. Love that movie. Anyway, we need to be on the right side of ourselves, if we're going to get through this experience we're in right now any day soon. Because it's going to take a greater effort from us all to be our best, brightest, shiniest selves in our world today. And everything it seems that's going on out there would pull us away from even thinking that, far less being that, as we respond to what's going on. But remember, responding is what we must do, not reacting. Not reacting. And the human in us the first place it will go to is to react. That's how the ego works. We need to pull the ego back and assuage it and comfort it and settle it down and tell it doesn't have to be afraid because you are in charge. You are its champion and you will take care of it. Need not be afraid. Needn't peep out from behind, the lazy chair or the easy seat and see what's going on and if it's okay to come out, if it's safe. You see, that's what ego's like. It's like a small little child that is unsure, very unsure, and not quite aware of what's safe and what's not safe. Consequently, it feels very afraid, and when you're afraid, you really and truly react and don't respond. So we've lots to learn still, but we're learning, I find. We're not the people we were 10 years ago or 20 years ago, and that can happen either for the good or the bad, I'm not sure. But I do believe that life is in a forward movement and that we're always moving toward the greater good rather than away from it. That's what everything I have learned in my life has brought me to today. But I have to say, and I'll say it over and over again, what life has brought me to is that I really don't know very much for certain sure. I really don't know very much for certain sure. So I have to be very careful about absolutes and so on and so forth. And about quick and easy reactions instead of ponderous responses. This is what I keep having to learn over and over and over again, or wanting to learn too. There's a difference between having to and wanting to. I certainly want to. I don't want to be any source of harm, that's for certain sure. I know that deep down within me. I want to be a help and not a hindrance. But sometimes, ego gets in the way, does it not? Because it's scared and frightened, and it thinks in terms of separation and difference instead of sameness and oneness. And so, anytime, he says, you notice that you are comparing yourself to someone else, that you are different or better in some way, practice noticing how you are alike. We are much more alike than we are different. We all have similar fears, hopes, dreams, hurts, and purposes. We are all striving for the same things: peace, fulfillment, a meaningful existence. We can empower each other by recognizing our sameness, communicating our understanding of each other, as well as stepping aside from what will prevent us from doing so, judgments and so on. We are connected on so many levels, physically through quantum energy, emotionally through our human weaknesses and our love, and spiritually through our soul essence. So the message here is we're more the same than different. We're more connected than separate from each other. We truly are. But some of us don't want to think that and don't want to believe that. What often stands in the way of our recognizing our sameness is that when we are out of touch with our own weaknesses, we project them outward into the world and onto others. Anytime we judge others, we can look at ourselves and ask the question, is the behavior I am judging in this individual a quality that I dislike in myself? Such introspection can open a door to a greater understanding. We are slow to look in our own mirrors and to enter into self-examination. Now, I learned a long time ago that you cannot see in anybody else what you have not first experienced within yourself, whether consciously or unconsciously. You can only see out there as you see yourself. That's a challenging thought. I can only bring to the world what I am in myself, what I have in myself, what I think in myself, what I feel in myself, what I experience in myself. That's all I can bring to the world. I cannot bring to the world what I haven't got, what I haven't yet released in myself. It must first be released in me and recognized in me before I can bring it out there to share in the world. So it seems to me that today's challenge is really sublime in its demand of us to be our better and greater selves. Because that's the only thing that's going to get us through all of this. Nothing else less than that will. It's not going to happen by, a futile effort here and there, or by that group over there, or this group over here, or them out there, or those in charge. No one's in charge of you except you. No one is in charge of you except you. And if you're not in charge of yourself, no one's in charge. That's dangerous. That's truly dangerous. Again, the spiritual and the philosophical slogans and sayings passed on through the myriads of years. The man who can master armies is great, but the man who can master himself is mighty, greater. Self-mastery is what it's all about, and that's why the world is in the condition it's in. We don't have it sufficiently. And remember, it only takes 51% of us to get to that magical number, or even probably less. The quantum number that we need to reach in self-mastery may be even much smaller than that. Ernest Holmes always said, as was reminded on Sunday, give me 1,000 individuals who so understand the principles of truth and apply them and live from them, and I'll show you a new world. 1,000 individuals. That was his quantum number. But all those other individuals don't matter. What matters is you as an individual and me as an individual, what I think, what I feel, how I am, how I protect myself in the world, and what I bring to the world. That's all that matters. It does not matter what everybody else does. It really doesn't. We're going to be entering into the study of a very wonderful book called Nonviolent Communication. And by the way, the author didn't even like that title one bit. It didn't fill you with, warm fuzzies when you read the title. It really and truly means ahimsa, which is a Sanskrit term for a wholeness and a fullness of beingness, integration, unified sense of essence and being. That's what it really means, ahimsa. And I tell you, never was there a more wonderful time to be studying such a book as this time, because there's too much violence in ourselves and in our world. And I can remember when I would drive up to the Grove up in Hollywood. LACMA is right there, the museum, and they have different focuses all the time. And one of them was on violence, and all their banners said, "In violence, we forget who we are. In violence, we forget who we are." And often our language is very violent, even when it's spoken softly and sweetly. Often our language is very violent, and it hits the other like a force that's hurting. And so this is a perfect time to be studying such a concept. And also, alongside of that, we're studying this thing called life by Raymond Charles Barker, so that we can start with that balanced platform and move into remedial, if you like, work on ourselves. And I think we're always doing that, are we not? Certainly those of us who are committed to spiritually unfolding are always in the remedial stage of our progress at some level or another. And the levels are all over the place. And levels are not hierarchical, they're circular. And the levels we're talking about are the levels with regard to the point of light at the center of all things, and us moving around that center all the time, way out there sometimes on left field, just inside, if you like, a respectable place to be, or close to the center, you know. So it's all like that. Your life and mine is like a circle, and it's always going around and around like a turning, you know, gyre, and so on and so forth. And so, my dear ones, it's up to you, and it truly is up to me to make the difference. Nobody else is to make the difference. I am the one that has to make the difference. Not them, not they, me. And as the 2-year-old would say, me do it, me do it. What happened to us? What happened to us? We were so full of that vim and that vigor and that zest and that stick-to-itiveness and that downright knowing something for certain sure at 2. And now look at us. Now look at us. You do it. They'll do it. Them will do it. No, they won't do it. You do it. Me do it. That's how it gets done. By working on ourselves, and it is a noble, noble cause to work all the time on ourselves, to be in our own company and witness how we are, how we're doing, what is going on in me, because whatever it is, it's going on in the world too. So consequently, I need to have good stuff going on in me if I want good stuff going on in the world. And another thing I'm really pondering these days is the Emerson's essay on self-reliance. Self-reliance. Rely upon yourself, your inner self, your inner truth. And in this day and age, I see a lot of the herd mentality, as in a herd of wild horses or wild buffalo or whatever. Because if I am just going to allow the herd mentality to guide me in my life, or any group, or any of them, then I'm in danger of being taken over a cliff before I actually realize it. Because that's what the herd mentality, or the mob mentality, or the whatever mentality you want to think of, in terms of a mentality that's other than my own, purely my own mentality. And so I would again invite us all, my dear ones, to be the self of ourselves and to rely upon our source as the self, and to forget everybody else's ideas about everything, go into the inner sanctum of the true essence of our being and make up our own minds about decision making, whatever the decision is. Let it be yours purely. No outside influence, just the inner truth being allowed to come through you in all of our thinking, in all of our feeling, and in all of our doing, so that you and I can do no harm. And that was the motto of every spiritual leader that was true to their true essence. Do no harm, but in all things, do good. Do good. To all persons, places, and things. Not just to those whom you love. Jesus said, if you love those who love you, what thanks is to you? Sinners even do this. He said, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Pray for those who persecute and despitefully use you. That's what he said. And so, my dear ones, just be your own good self and rely upon your inner essence and your inner truth. And know that the divine wisdom, the Holy Spirit of life itself, and its beautiful, beautiful, beautiful law of love is deep at the center core of your being, and you can draw from that at all times, in all situations, regardless of how you're feeling and what's going on. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. I will refresh you. That's the truth. I've tried it out and it works. It's the truth that sets us free. And remember, that which is in the world is not as great as that which is within you. In the world there are many vicissitudes, but fear not, for I have overcome the world, because of that which is greater in you than that which is greater than in the world. The I am that I am that I am. I am, God is, therefore I can, and by Jiminy Crickets, I will. And so it is, my dear ones, and so it is. So have a splendid and great good day, and do not let those creepy heebie-jeebies of shadows get in the way of you giving yourself the gift of a great good day, because that's what every good day is meant to be for you and for me. And you get to choose it as soon as you open your eyes first thing in the morning. We give thanks. This is the day that life and light and love and peace and beauty and power has in store for me. And I'm saying yes to it. God woke up in me today. So now I'm choosing to wake up in God in this day. Whatever it is that really gets your energy up, that's what you will come to, and that's what you will think and feel as soon as you open your eyes every morning, once you practice and train your mind to work in this way. So let us allow our minds to be our friends and not our foes, because that's what we need for healing in ourselves and in our world, now and always. And so, dear hearts, we have the opportunity now to celebrate our fullness, our plenty, our daily bread. Every single day in my little notebook of gratitude I write, I give great and deep thanks for the abundance of my daily bread, from which I always can share. That's what I say in my little book. In those words are similar words every single day of gratitude. And the joy of living in gratitude is beyond expression. And remember, in the scriptures it says, in all things give thanks. Not just when you're feeling good and when everything is going beautifully, but in all times, situations, give thanks. Just to open your eyes and me to open my eyes is the greatest gift I could be given in any given day. Nothing else can compare to that. So that's what we celebrate every time we're conscious of sharing from our source, knowing that that source can never be outdone in generosity. So we take our gift between our blessing hands and we say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. Have yourselves the best day you've had in a long time, because you can, and you can by choosing to do exactly that. And remember, a feeling, whatever it is you're having, is a feeling. It's transitory. It's not going to settle permanently, but you can decide right here and right now to let it go, be on its way. Or as Jimmy Fallon would say, go on git. Go on git. To any little cloud that's dark and gloomy over your head. Go on Git and open yourself up to the wonderful sunshine in all of life and living, but mostly that is absolutely vibrant in you. This is the truth. We're releasing it out there, and thank you again for all your good thoughts, all your good feelings, all your good deeds, making the difference in the world, because that's what's getting this job for us done right now. So, to thine own self be true, and take care of yourself. Be understanding with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Treat yourself the way you would a beautiful little baby, or a beautiful anything that really moves you. Treat yourself in the same way by responding to yourself in the same way, because you're awesome, you're amazing, you're one of a kind. There's no one like you. And if you weren't here, life wouldn't be the way it is. And if you were to be extinguished, the whole of life would implode upon itself and couldn't be. That's how important you are. Love you lots, take care, and in the greetings of goodbye that the children always give, mwah,